As the war in Ukraine nears 1 year, U.S. President Joe Biden has noted in his speech that Russia will never be allowed to win. Just hours before that, Russian President Vladimir Putin announced a suspension of Russia's participation in an arms control treaty. Our foreign affairs correspondent Bae Eun-ji has more.
U.S. President Joe Biden delivered a speech in Poland a day after a secret visit to Kyiv, promising that Russia will never win over Ukraine. While marking 1 year since the start of the war, he also reaffirmed his unwavering support for Ukraine.
Brutality will never grind down the will of the free, and Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia. Never.
U.S. also plans to impose new sanctions on some 200 Russian individuals and entities this week. The Wall Street Journal reported that this is part of Washington and its allies' efforts to further isolate the Russian economy and cut off Moscow from access to critical materials that could bolster its military and technology sectors. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin declared during a State of the Nation address on Tuesday that Moscow is suspending its participation in the New START nuclear reduction treaty with Washington, the only remaining agreement that regulates the world's two largest nuclear arsenals. The pact, signed in 2010, limits the number of atomic warheads the two countries can deploy and is due to expire in 2026.
They want to deliver us a strategic defeat and claim our nuclear facilities. Regarding this, I have to say that Russia suspends its participation in the New START treaty.
Meanwhile, on Tuesday, Russian shelling continued in Ukraine, leaving 6 people killed and 12 others wounded in Kherson. The Ukrainian Southern Command said the shellings occurred while President Putin was giving a State of the Nation address. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called the latest attack a ruthless killing of civilians, adding that Russia targeted residential areas, high-rise buildings, public transport stops, and parking lots. Later this week, the UN General Assembly will vote on a draft resolution to find a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in Ukraine. It will be put to a vote during the special emergency session that will run from Wednesday to Thursday. Bae Eun-ji, Arirang News.